Okay.
All right, let's see. Let me go to the page real quick. I got people messaging me. Okay, let's see. Let me get into your. I took a shower and everything for you, so I hope you're liking it.
I am loving every second of it. I'm like, look, this girl who like is a self-professed, never wears makeup, put on makeup for me. I put on highlighter for you, if that makes it better. I fucking contoured my face for this shit.
Oh my God, I'm excited about it. All right, so we are live on Facebook. Hopefully I don't get any kind of back speaking, whatever it goes. Okay, so hi everybody. We are live on Facebook in my Instagram for the Hustlers group, and I am with one of my dear friends and one of my favorite SEO expert mentors, the lovely and talented Ms. Claire Belmonte. So Claire is actually, I'm super excited about this because the folks that I'm interviewing throughout the next couple of days, throughout the next week and a half, are folks that you're going to be seeing in the 8-week workshop for the Instagram for the Hustlers, like mega course. Okay. So you get to pick Claire's brain today, but then she's also going to be helping us on a more drilled down level in the Instagram for the Hustlers course for the workshop specifically. So she's going to be an expert panelist for me, and I'm super excited about this because if you haven't already done so, please grab a pen and a pad and get ready to take some notes. This lady's got an incredible brain, and I love to pick it. So that being said, Claire's going to talk about 3 really big things that I think that are going to be really, really helpful for the folks in this group specifically, and that's because she is an e-com expert. She knows her SEO, she knows e-com in relation to Instagram and how it works on a storytelling platform. She's amazing at ad copy and marketing. And now I'm going to shut up and just say, I love her. I love her. I love her. So I'm going to shut up and let her kind of take over and let her do her thing and work her magic.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Trish, for having me today. I'm really excited to be here and talking to you guys. Just a little bit about my background so that you can tell that everything that Trish praises me for is like actually the reality. So I have worked in SEO for about 5-6 years now. I started in e-commerce and copywriting. My background is in writing, and that's where I fell in love with SEO. And I worked for a Fortune 200 e-commerce collective. I was, one of 6 writers for a 12-site, 3 million page collective. And that was kind of what got me into SEO and really understanding like what matters on the page, how to really sell your products online and make sure that people are consistently coming back for more. After that, I worked I did SEO and content strategy for a finance company. You might have heard of it, Discover Card. So I have had a lot of that, big Fortune 500 experience. Right now, I work in SEO and marketing strategy with small business owners, mostly because it's a lot more fun. As a business owner, you get to take a lot more measured risk than you do as a huge, company that might have multi-million dollars of budget to spend, but doesn't really get to hear yes that often for interesting and innovative projects, one of which is really showing up in interesting and really telling stories on Instagram. So that's a little bit about me. I'm really excited to jump on here and answer your questions. I know Trish has a bunch of questions for me already. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you telling us a little bit about you and your background. You continue to just wow me with your expertise, and I do want to make sure that I tell people when I have an SEO question, if I'm not sure about something or a link to use or a resource to use or whatever, I reached out to Claire, and she has been an incredible mentor of mine in that piece of my business. So definitely, you know, the things that she shares, and trust me when I tell you, when I implement the stuff that she tells me to do, it works. So she knows what she's talking about. She's an amazing coach in that piece, and I really appreciate everything that you have done for me to help me with my business, so that I can take that information and pass it on to the folks that are in this group, and that I can help also with their businesses. So that being said, I do want to ask you, I want to pick your brain. The first question that I want to ask you is, I see a lot of the posts that you do on your Facebook page talking about marketing as a whole. Like, you know, people they start their business up and they immediately say, okay, how do I market myself effectively? How do I do this and how do I do that? And I think that you and I agree that Facebook and Instagram they're both great platforms, but they're very different with how we use them.
Yes.
So I would love for you to speak to how people market specifically on Instagram and what type of like copy they might want to use in order to get that story out there effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, with Facebook, and we've become a little bit more comfortable with Facebook. I'll always say, you know, you want that long form copy. You really want to be like engaging somebody to click that see more, right? But when we're talking about Instagram is such a visual platform. So if you don't have the image, nobody's going to read what you have to say, right? So I'm like a Gary Vee follower all fucking day. And, you know, he is a big proponent of using your life and trying to take stories from your life and apply it to your business, right? And everything is related. You're not this person that, like, work-life balance isn't real, right? You're not this person that exists at work part-time and then exists at home part-time. That's not a reality, especially for entrepreneurs. So what I say for really focusing in on the strategy of what kind of content to include on Instagram, it's showing these images that go to that pull at the heartstrings, right? So you're saying, okay, there's something that, like, Trish can include a marketing message with a picture of her child, you know? And she could say, you know, we went to Disneyland today. By the way, I hope Disney World was great.
It was amazing. Yes, thank you.
But so she could include a picture of, oh, we were at Disney World, and here's what I learned about how Disney markets their business, and here's what I learned about like branding from seeing Disney font everywhere, you know, and kind of can write, you know, a paragraph or two about that. I mean, I wouldn't say, you know, Instagram is not write forever and have it be, you know, millions and millions of pages. You're not looking for that see more interaction. You're looking for maybe 10 sentences of really high value content and changing your link, and always doing the kind of link in bio thing and changing your link to really show that, like, here's where you can find more information. It is a first step, right? It engages your audience. It shows that you're a real person, which is why I know it's a controversial argument, and Trish might disagree with me, but I am one of those people that says if you should never have a business and a personal Instagram. They should always be one. What do you think about that?
So the only reason why I would disagree with that is because some people's brands are a little bit different from their personal life. So, you know, some of the influencers that I've spoken to, they have multiple businesses. So I feel like if you throw too many, and I know this, I personally have experience for me. Sure. If I throw hashtags for my Instagram business on my personal account, people will unfollow me because they'll feel like I'm trying to pitch them something having to do with my Instagram business, when in reality, my personal account is about mom life, hacking, low carb life, you know, living. And so I don't want to detract that audience from coming to my page and getting that low carb lifestyle thing that they love so much from there, when they can see all the digital marketing and Instagram goodness on a separate page. So I would agree with you, but I'd also would recommend that people are very careful when they combine those two things, that they use the right hashtags, that they get a feel for the market that they're using that for, and that they don't try to kind of essentially walk on each other's businesses eggshells with each page that way, because that you could very easily, as quickly as you can attract that following, you could also pull them away too.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, part of why I tend to recommend that is in part because it's, a know your audience kind of factor. If you have, which brings up an interesting point, if you have a different audience for your personal life, if you're saying, I want to appeal to moms, versus for Instagram, I want to appeal to entrepreneurs that aren't necessarily #mompreneurs. That is going to be a different audience. For me personally, and for a lot of the clients that I work with, they, don't necessarily, they're not trying to do 6 things at once, trying to do like, here's what my personal Instagram, here's my business Instagram. It's a lot more of like, I'm trying to attract the same kind of audience with my personal and my business. And I definitely say, like, there are plenty of people who I'll start working with that say, I have a business Instagram, and you'll look at it and it's like all business all the time. It's nothing that really would like emotionally attract anybody.
Right.
And, that storytelling ability only goes so far when, like me, when I was working in corporate, when you really can only, based on your lawyer's advice, talk about student loans. And not talk about like the experience of students or the experience of parents or what, the community feels and what, you as like the purveyor of those stories feel.
No, I completely agree with that. That's kind of, so that's kind of the message that I give people when they say, hey, I want to get so many followers, and, what kind of things do I have to post to get so many followers? And the bottom line is this: I feel like they're not asking the right question. The right question isn't how many followers can I get? It's how many relationships can I build and establish?
Yeah.
That's the question people should be asking. So I think that there's a huge miscommunication and misunderstanding with Instagram. Everybody says, hey, I want so many followers on my Instagram account. Similarly to a Facebook like page. I want so many people to like my Facebook page. No, you want so many people to engage in that Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
You want so many people to be attracted to you in that profound way that they're like, holy crap, this content is unfreaking believable. Where's that call to action? Where's that link in her bio? I want more of that, right?
Yes.
So I see a lot of Instagram accounts out there. They've got over 1 million followers, and all it is just Gary V, Grant Cardone, and Sylvester Stallone memes with inspiration and motivation. There's no storytelling content there.
Well, and also there's no call to action. And it was interesting that you brought that up, because like one of the things that I would tell my clients, especially e-commerce clients, which is a lot of who I work with, given that that's my background, if you don't have a call to action, if you're not at least in some way giving your audience a choice to say, here's what you can do, not buy now, which is, I recently wrote an article about this that I think you'll find really compelling, Trish, but about how trying to target millennial audiences, buy now doesn't work anymore, and it gives you one choice action. And if you don't want to take that action, you don't do anything. You keep scrolling. Whereas with effective CTAs, especially for a millennial audience, but for many audiences, really, if you're saying, hey, shoot me a message if you have questions, or like, let's chat, or let's talk, or even here's the link, rather than check out this page, which is, here's the explicit, I'm telling you what to do. If you say, here's the link, take a look, that's a lot, that gives you a lot more, gives your customer, I guess, a lot more choice, and they feel more autonomous when they're making that decision, even though you kind of held their hand to get them there.
Correct.
But it would be silly, and it's a waste of your time to post without adding a call to action. If you're not telling your clients what to do, or your prospects or your customers what to do, they're going to keep on scrolling. They might comment, but they're not going to do anything. You can't just expect them to go to your link in your bio and like sign up for your $3,000 coaching course if you're not telling them that it's there and that this is how they sign up for it.
For sure, absolutely. And I would think specifically with Instagram, if you're gonna bring that kind of content, whatever that might be, whether it's, you know, a highlighted item for your Instagram or your e-com site, you know, so a lot of people are say, oh, you know, there's so many like moms and there's so many millennials and there's so many, you know, of this niche, whether, you know, foodies and bakeries and there's a lot of brick and mortar out there too. And people, you know, how can I use this platform effectively to sell my product, to sell, you know, a product, right? Well, I will be very honest with you right now. My personal take on this, I don't go on Instagram to see what color fidget spinner I can find on an e-com, right? Yeah. That's not why I'm on Instagram. I go on Instagram to see what the hot looking pair of leggings is currently available, right? So when I kind of give my advice to those folks who have an e-commerce store, my suggestion is always, and I think that you would agree with this, highlight an item that you have on your store that's going to be attractive to the masses that are on Instagram.
Yes, and make sure that you're taking good pictures of it too. I mean, like that seems intuitive, but for a lot of people who aren't comfortable with Instagram, it's not. They say, oh, well, I took a picture and it's really about the content. And the picture is the content on Instagram. And I think it is important that you bring that up. I think I see a lot of clients that say, okay, well, I added the link to my website in my bio. And it's like, yeah, but you're not directing them anywhere. Like just to say, okay, go to my homepage, that doesn't mean anything. Then, you know, somebody will go to your link in bio, they'll click on it and they'll say, and it seems silly, right? But they'll say, what do I do now? Where do I go? If they're not immediately captivated by something, they're going to drop off.
Correct.
Whereas if you have a pair of leggings that you're like, wow, these are really cool, and somebody writes an article that includes links to the products about like, here are, you know, the 5 ways that I style leggings, and you include that blog link in your Instagram, somebody's going to click on that. And it might be longer than saying, okay, here's where you buy this pair of leggings, but it's also more engaging. And so if you say like, hey, here's the 5 ways that I style these leggings, and each of those have links to different product pages, that's how you're already engaging your audience. You're already providing them value. You're giving them exactly what they're looking for. And then they're saying, okay, cool, then I'm going to buy this because I just saw how versatile these really cool leggings are.
Exactly.
Or even with a fidget spinner. I mean, like a fidget spinner is such a good example, right? You might not want to take a picture of a fidget spinner and say, here's our new marigold option. Like that's lame. If you want to advertise a fidget spinner, and I'm a big proponent of content, especially website content. Blogging is like huge for me. If you are sitting on, you know, this gold mine of fidget spinners, maybe what you do is take a picture of a child playing with one while holding his mom's hand at the grocery store. And, you know, the blog post is something along the lines about like how to keep your child busy while you're running errands or something. And that's a great way to show somebody, this is what this is used for. You know this circumstance, you tap into their needs. And you say, okay, here's how I sell you the product that you're looking for.
And that right there is the perfect segue comment for me to say, especially with e-com, you have got to research your hashtags to make sure you have the right people attracted to whatever freaking product you are posting about.
Yeah.
It could change any day. It could change any day, depending on what that hot item is. Some people have a Shopify store that's only about leggings. Cool. You still have to research them out. But if you're going from leggings on Monday to freaking fidget spinners on Wednesday to a pair of earrings on Friday, you better make sure you're researching the right hashtags, and you better make sure that post is powerful.
And I know that you and I have talked about this too, and I absolutely agree with you, but also your hashtags should target who you want to see your post. Don't keep talking about you. Like, you can do hashtag entrepreneur, but if you're selling fidget spinners, you're not going to want to attract the people who are hashtag entrepreneurs necessarily. Maybe a mompreneur, or maybe, you know, just generally moms that, you know, or like distracted, hashtag distracted kids, that kind of thing. I mean, you don't want, if you take a picture of coffee and you tag it hashtag coffee, nobody cares. That doesn't target who you're looking for.
Cares. And then the other thing too is people have to keep in mind, you know, I might throw coffee in there at the very end of my blog if I'm including coffee in my breakfast item, right? Mm-hmm. My bottom 5 hashtags highlight what the exact post is about. But I would tell people, if all you're doing is, you know, using the coffee hashtag over and over and over again, you need to go online and see how many people are using the hashtag coffee. You know how many freaking people drink coffee globally every single day? If you've got multiple accounts out there who are influencers with over 1 million followers and they're using hashtag coffee, they're ranking because they're using that hashtag. Mm-hmm. If you've got less than 2,000 followers, that hashtag is going to do nothing to help you out.
Nope. And I mean, I even showed this, I gave an example of this to one of my clients the other day by saying, okay, type in hashtag, I think we were doing Insta fashion, right? And I was like, now do it time 30 seconds and then count how far that first post you saw after like the initial 6, that first post you saw, how far did it fall? And that's the thing. Like, if you look at that and it's like, oh, it dropped more than like 50 places or even 30 places, nobody's going to see you unless they're on that hashtag exactly that moment. And so is that really a valuable hashtag for you to use? Does that give you the ROI that you're looking for? Right. And it doesn't in a lot of cases, you know, and she was one of those. This e-commerce company was trying to grow from, I think she's starting at 1,500 followers. And I'm like, using hashtag InstaFashion isn't going to benefit you. They might say online that it's one of the top options for a fashion blog, but you're not going to gain any traction from that.
Awesome. No, that's really, really true. So Claire, let me ask you this: for those folks who are heavy on their e-com, if they're brand new at their store, like I actually had somebody that just joined, I think yesterday or the day before, and he mentioned that he's got a brand new Shopify store. What would be one specific tip that you would give, or maybe a couple specific tips that you would give to somebody who's brand new with their Shopify store, their e-com website, that they're using Instagram as a platform? Maybe even include a website that you would recommend for them to do a little bit of research with that. Okay,
cool. The number one tip that I would give actually has less to do with Instagram and more to do with the links that you provide in your bio. You want to make sure that every product page and every page on your site has good content. You don't want duplicate content. You don't, like, that's the kind of stuff that gets you in trouble with Google, right? If you have the same product in 6 colors and everything says it has the same exact description, that's where you get in trouble. So you want to make sure as an e-commerce site that your content is valuable so that when they go to the page, when they click on a page in your Instagram bio, they know exactly what the product is. They have all the details that they need to understand whether or not it's a good fit for them. Or, you know, that they have the dimensions available. Anything that you can fill in, do fill in. More content is always, as long as you're not like keyword stuffing and saying, okay, I want to use the same like 5 keywords 20 times on the same page. The more information you can have, especially about how people use that item as like a lifestyle addition, the more valuable it's going to be and the more likely Google is to rank that page anyway. And then the more likely somebody is to click through to that page and actually be like, oh, I understand why I need this. It furthers the sale. It closes the sale for you. So that's one of the major points. There are a lot of ways to do hashtag research. One of my favorite things, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, is A/B testing your hashtags. And there is a tool I use. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. And then,
while you're looking that up, for those of you who don't know what that means, A/B testing, it means use certain hashtags when you post one way and then use other hashtags when you post another way. You want to test it out. For those of you who are brand new to this whole digital marketing piece, that's what she's trying to tell you, is that you might want to use a certain set of hashtags to post one way and then try to do another set of hashtags to post another way to see what kind of an audience you attract.
And so I use a tool called Smart Hash. It's an app, okay. And you can put in any of the hashtags that you think will be valuable, and it will split test that copy for you. So it will provide you related hashtags so that you're not using the same hashtags over and over and over again, and you don't get effectively shadow banned. So that's a good one. What was that?
This is a free tool?
Yes. And I've used it for a few clients. Obviously, if you're using it for more than a few, you have to pay for it. But if you're using it for yourself, it's a really good option. Also, this is kind of a fun little secret fact. Trish and I are working on a project right now that you guys will see hopefully pretty soon. That is going to be a website aimed at finding hashtags specific to your industry, to your following size, and helping you determine here are the hashtags, not just the top 30 hashtags that you can use, but also here's how you can like layer in other hashtags to make sure that you get some variety, that you have a lot of options that your audience is actually looking for. So you guys can look out for that. Trish and I are definitely excited to get started on this project and really get rolling. So let me just put a date on it because that will push us to actually do it, right?
Oh my God, okay, this is happening.
So 3 months from now, let's say 3 months from now, you will have a brand new free, mostly free tool that you can use depending on your amount of usage to find the right hashtags for your business. Yep. Which is
specific
really
for your business. So that's going to be niche specific and following specific within brackets so that you're not trying to use hashtag love, which I still see people with less than like 100 followers use that. And I'm going, you are literally you're trumping yourself. You're throwing a spade on your own business. Don't try to rank with a billion people.
Yeah, it's just not going to be fun for you. You're not going to have a good time.
No. And that's, just to kind of throw this out there, guys, for those of you who are watching live or who catch this a little bit later today, that is something that I cover in my course that I talk specifically about that, how to research your hashtags. It's something that's really drilled down. It's not something that I'm going to, I'll speak to it, but I kind of do a whole walkthrough about this in the course and do a screen share and really kind of drill down like how you do it. There's a lot of people out there, like, I don't know the first thing about how to do that. And I will tell you this, if any of you run Facebook ads, it's a very similar process to that.
Yes.
For understanding who your target market is, who your avatar is, but specifically with e-com, you're going to work harder. It's going to be a harder working process because, again, if you're presenting different products out there, it's going to be a different research piece. It's going to be a different set of hashtags. And then again, like Claire was mentioning, there's going to be that A/B testing depending on what kind of a product you're putting out there. So we're excited about working on this. I think that a 3-month bracket is really fair because then we can kind of 10x that shit and bring it sooner.
Yep.
So
that's exactly it. I'm setting like a really far out goal for us so that you guys can be really impressed when we come out with it like a month and a half from now.
Exactly.
But I just kind of one other thing that I wanted to jump on. I and Trish and I might have different opinions on this, and actually I don't think we've talked about it. But it's definitely valuable when you're looking at researching your hashtags. That's going to be valuable for your Facebook ads. Personally, when I'm talking to my clients, I say that organic or unpaid Instagram use is almost always more beneficial than paid Instagram ads. They're not good. People don't click on them that often. They just don't. You don't see the return on investment that you do with Facebook ads or even like LinkedIn ads, which LinkedIn ads has the worst targeting in the world, and they still have a better ROI than Instagram ads.
Well, and I think the biggest reason for that is because people pay for ads on Instagram. And I want to kind of, this is a two-part agreement with you. And so.
I love when you agree with me.
Oh, you're friggin' right. So part one of that is, this isn't me saying that somebody's being lazy. It's not about that. But I feel like if you take that extra step to build the following for whatever your business model is, if you take that extra step, and listen, guys, I have 3 freaking Instagram accounts, and I only really work hard on one because my following is big, it's huge, and it's my lifestyle. Like, that's literally my life every single day. So it's easier for me to post about my life every day and attract people who, want to be a part of what I'm doing, right? But so I see people on Instagram who I don't know their page, I've never even seen them before, and they'll throw an ad through there, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is, and I'll scroll right past them. Instagram's that platform where I'm going to be a lot more susceptible to someone who I see day in, day out being consistent as shit, bringing that content, bringing that value, giving me a 5-step PDF for me to download. I'm on their list. They're sending me emails. They're inviting me to their free Facebook groups. You guys, like, that's what blows people away. And so when I see them in my Instagram feed, I'm going to stop and I'm going to look at that video that they've posted. And I'm going to be like, that's badass. I respect the crap out of that. I want more of that, right? If it's some Joe Schmo who and I can see that it's a paid advertisement, if I haven't already invested my time into watching them and digging them and being cool with their content, I'm really not going to give a flying you-know-what about what they're sending to me from Facebook through a paid ad.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Instagram ads are just not, if you haven't put the work in, it's not worth it.
Because there's too many people who are working that hard on Instagram that seriously, it's like our Clubhouse, man. It's a Clubhouse platform. If you come in the Clubhouse and you don't abide by the rules of the Clubhouse, we're like, yeah, bye. We don't care. We don't care. I've worked really freaking hard on this platform, and I'm only at 2,000 followers. So for the people who build up their accounts, like the Josh 40s out there who have over 1 million people, or, my girlfriend Whitney's got over 6,000 followers. That's been completely organic. She shows up every freaking day. Breakfast post, lunch post, a dinner post, yoga moves, modified movements for her fitness. She's a huge yogi. She does yoga. I mean, she's gorgeous, but she brings it every flipping day.
Yeah.
Every flipping day, you guys. You have to be consistent. And if you try to throw automation on that shit, I'm going to tell you right now, 1 time a day, max. That's it. But I wouldn't recommend it.
And no bots. No bots ever. I don't want to see any of that, like, comment bullshit. It's not okay. It's not okay. And people don't respond well to it. And, like, if you're talking about, like, me as a business owner, I get really bitter about it. I'm like, no, there's no way. I see that you're following me, and I see that you're, like, trying to post smiley faces and nothing of worth on my posts because you want to, like, encourage me to engage with you, and I refuse.
Right. And I want to speak to that again too, is those of you who do invest in virtual assistants, cool, man, get yourself a VA, especially, like, if you're taking off with your business and you're blowing up and you don't have time for all that, cool. But you better make sure, and I have a VA checklist in my course, you better make sure that your VA has full access to every bit of content that you are putting out, so that VA can take it, break it up, splinter it off, whatever has to be done, and they can be on it, man, for at least 3 times a day, You have to do it. You have to do it. It has to be organic. Make sure you're doing it organic. Instagram doesn't care about your business unless you're using their platform completely organically and you're engaging with the following.
Yeah. And I mean, that's part of like what I provide for my clients is like an organic playbook that really does, and I have it designed because it makes sense for a lot of VAs as a workflow of like, literally, this is the process that you take in order to do this. And here's, a list of like researched hashtags that you should use. Don't use all of them on every single post. Don't be brainless, and it seems hard to say that to a lot of people, to be like, hey, you actually need to think about social media if you want it to work for your business. This isn't just fun and games all the time.
Well, and I think people are quickly starting to learn this isn't a set it and forget it thing anymore. Like it might be set it and follow up. It's a set it and follow up process. It's a set it and, set it, establish those relationships, but then keep building, right? Make sure you're following up. If you've got a free Facebook group, then freaking send people to that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. My Instagram account, I really barely pay attention to it anymore. Like, I don't post on it every day like I should, and I'm being transparent about that. But my link on there sends people directly to the group. Like, there's not even a sales funnel to capture their email and their name.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, a lot of my calls to action on Instagram, if I'm providing value, are, hey, if if this is something you're struggling with and you want to schedule a call with me, that's my link. And my link is directly to my calendar to say, hey, if this is like a worthwhile use of your time, if you want to have a consultation with me, click here. And it works.
Yeah.
And that's not always my link. I don't leave it there perpetually. But, I heard somewhere a good piece of advice that I've used a few times, that like you should refresh your link maybe like once a month to show that there's other content that you're putting out there, And I think that's a good thing for a lot of companies who might say, oh, I just put my homepage out there. There it is. It's not going to work.
That's the biggest thing is, that's one thing with Facebook, right? Because Facebook, you literally can just, buy stuff off of it, but that's not the case with Instagram. It's a storytelling platform. It's different the way that things go. So it's something that you highlighted the other day that I was like, I love the way that you said this, was that there was a purse that one of your clients had. They were like in a boutique or something, and they had a purse that they wanted to sell. And when you learn the story behind the purse and how the fabric was made in like a specific village somewhere in South America or something, then you wouldn't just post a picture of the purse and say, hey, buy it now. You would maybe tell the story about the village where that purse was made. And maybe even go a step further and tell a story about one of the particular villagers that lived there that made this purse. That's huge. Like, that resonates with people. Again, it's this storytelling platform. So, even if it is, it could be a purse, it could be a fidget spinner, it could be a friggin' spatula. Who gives a crap? Just make sure you're attaching some kind of a story, and you're when you mentioned that the other day, I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly right. That's exactly what they need to be doing, right? The other thing that people could do, and this is going to be specific to those of you who have a little bit deeper pockets for it, is if you have an e-com store and you want to highlight an item that's like selling like hotcakes, Game of Thrones just came out again. There's so many t-shirts out there that are already speaking to the Game of Thrones masses, right? So if you have a Game of Thrones item in your e-com store and you want to highlight that, reach out to an influencer that also is rocking that out, and find out, make sure you're building that relationship first, because you can't, if you just reach out to an influencer who's got a killer store and you say, hey, I want to run an ad against you, they're going to say probably starting price is $5,000.
Yeah.
Like,
easy.
Easy. Like Josh 40, his whole thing right now, he says he won't do it for less than 10 grand now. So, and that's if you've never even established a relationship with them. Okay. So and when I say establish a relationship, I mean, you're engaging every flipping day, multiple times a day. you're commenting, you're liking, go to their story, like their story, comment on their stories. Like, you need to kiss some serious influencer ass.
Hell yeah, you do.
For at least a month, if not longer, like 2 or 3 months, and really get that relationship established. Even if you have a website, if you have a podcast, maybe invite them to do an interview with you, something like that, really establish that relationship and collaborate with the person instead of just going, hey, I want to run an ad against you because you've worked your ass off for clearly well over a year, and now I just want a freebie. They're not going to give you a freebie.
Well, and that's part of it too, is that that brings up one of my favorite points, which is the fact that, like, this isn't about you. Like, Instagram seems like when you look at, like, teenagers taking selfies on Instagram, it's easy to make Instagram specifically all about you. But that's not what sells. You can't sit here and be like, I'm just sitting here advertising my product. Nobody cares about you if you're not looking at what they need. So even if you're advertising like a spatula, like we were talking about, if you're not telling your customer exactly why that spatula is what they need and how it's going to solve their life problems and how it's going to be important for them, and if you're not including that in the image, they don't care. A picture of a spatula is going to get scrolled right. I've never pressed like on a spatula. I don't know if you have, Trish. I love spatulas.
Now I want to try to sell the hell out of some damn spatulas.
Trish and I are going to start a spatula store. Just to prove it to you guys, this is how you sell spatulas.
I will promise you, I'm going to do this again, though, and if anybody wants to steal this idea, have fun with it. But I have a veggie spiralizer thing that I bought off Amazon like well over a year ago, and I use that sumbitch all the time with my zucchini to spiral, like, as I do, like, that's my veggie pasta, right? I can't tell you how many fitness people and like foodies I see on Instagram selling some freaking veggie spiralizers. Like, it's the same one over and over again. Amazon must be loving these people. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Because everybody needs a spiralizer, don't they? I'm just saying. So yeah, but I mean, it can literally be anything, guys. It's just as long as you're presenting it the right way. So that's, I feel like we kind of beat a dead horse with this, but storytelling is really important with Instagram. Make sure that you're putting together something of context within the content. You're including that call to action. You're using the right hashtags. You've got that link in your bio that sends them to the thing. Okay, that's really freaking important. If you've got a fidget spinner on Monday that you posted about, and you've got a link in your bio that somebody, a few days later clicks on the fidget spinner, if they don't have a place to find that fidget spinner on your link, then you're going to be kind of screwed. You're never going to sell that fidget spinner. If you don't care about that, cool. But if it's on that link, like, so, use the right link for that week's worth of stuff is my point. And yeah. Here's a fun other thing too. So, like, you have to keep in mind, as someone who is trying to sell on social media, that people acquire information differently, right? That this is why we have video and audio and pictures and, posts, content, right? Written content. Because people are going to get to your point differently. Granted, people on Instagram tend to be more visual, which makes sense, right? It's literally a platform based off them and built for them. But that doesn't mean you can shy away from video, especially when we're talking about stories. Getting your face out there in a way that they can actually see, like, this is what you look like when you exist in the real world. That's a huge value towards building that relationship. You can definitely feel and grow an attachment to somebody based on just seeing them over video. Trish and I have never met, and we're besties.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, one of the things that people ask about with e-com, well, what's value? What's value for e-com? Guys, value is like 20% off. Value is a flash sale, right? 50% off an item, like that's 50% off. That's value. That's literally like money in their pocket, right? So, if you want to throw a, flash sale Friday or whatever, whatever that might be, that's value, right? That's valuable information. Value might also be if you're a successful e-com store owner and you've done well with it. Value could be a 5 tips PDF for them to download and say, hey, here's 5 tips to, growing a great e-com store or starting up an e-com store. It could
Guys,
be
and I can't tell you how many times I wrote articles. Literally, my first job out of college was writing articles about like 5 ways to use your new tent. And like, it's stupid, right? It feels stupid, but like, that's a lot of the content that people are looking for. And that's a value that, think about, okay, here's one of my favorite examples. I am a big fan of Wayfair, the furniture website. And I spend so much money with Wayfair, like it's stupid. And part of the reason that I spend so much money is because Wayfair, here's a perfect example. I am really insecure about rugs. I don't know how to style rugs in a house. I'm like not a grown up. I don't feel comfortable with rugs. And part of what inspires me to buy a rug through Wayfair is the fact that they give me 10 styling options to say, here's how you add a rug to your room. And I am the person consuming that content. It might feel ridiculous to you as the business owner that you have to tell somebody how to use a rug, but like, arguably, I'm a grown-ass adult and I'm looking for that content.
Exactly.
That's another aspect of value, especially if at the end of that blog post you say, by the way, our whole rug inventory is 20% off. Hell yeah, I'm going to click through. You just told me why I needed a rug. And now you're saying, here are our rugs. That's exactly
20% off, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And I'm going to be like, well, I don't want to come back and have it not be 20% off because I'm already thinking about all the things I could do with my new rug. So I mean, that's real. That's content. That's a value, and it might not feel like valuable to you as a business owner, but you need to take a step back, look at the content gap, see what you can do with infographics and with short video, and see how you can really fill in the gaps about questions people are calling your customer service line for.
No, that's ridiculous. I really hope that people who are doing e-com and that are on Instagram specifically are going to pay attention to this video later, because I know that not a lot of people could hop on. It is 12 o'clock in the afternoon, almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So I just, first of all, I want to say thank you again to Claire very, very much. Claire, if somebody wanted to get to know you a little bit better and be a part of your business and be a part of your mentorship program, where might they find you? And maybe you can drop your link in the comments in my group so that people know where to get more of Claire.
Absolutely. So I do like to be a little bit more one-on-one. So I schedule consultation calls to see how we can work together. I will drop my link. It is www.meetme.so-clairebelmonte. That is my primary thing. You can also check me out on my Facebook page, which is Claire Belmonte. I add a lot on my personal page as well as my business page. I'm also on Instagram at Claire Lee Spella. Claire Belmonte wasn't available. I'm really bitter about it.
Put out an E, that's funny. Well, again, I want to say thank you very, very much. You really are, like, seriously, like one of my little besties in our little circle of life, our circle of digital marketing life, and you have been an incredible mentor for me for SEO stuff. I really appreciate your guidance, your expertise. I thank you very, very much for joining us today. And everybody, keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a very specific mastermind on probably next week, late next week. I'm going to set the date is going to be probably on a Monday that I am going to start my Instagram for the Hustlers 8-week workshop. And you will be seeing more of Claire's beautiful face in there telling us more. We're going to do more of a deep dive. It's going to be one-on-one stuff. We're going to be answering questions real time. And that's going to go inside of the mastermind group that's attached to that workshop. So if you are interested in being a part of that, please stay tuned. Keep your eyes and ears open for the upcoming stuff for that to happen. And without further ado, thank you so much, Claire. Have a wonderful afternoon. We really appreciate all the stuff and the advice that you gave us today. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Trish, and thanks, guys. So happy to talk to you all today.
Have a great afternoon, sweetheart. We'll talk to you later. Take care.
Bye.